Tonight, the World Health Organization and the United Nations are warning of famine-like conditions in Gaza. It has been difficult at times for aid to get into the war-torn region and to the people there who badly need it. In tonight's Prime Focus, our Britt Clennett has more on the roadblocks that some aid is facing from settlers in the West Bank long before it ever reaches its intended destination.
It's 5:30 a.m. at the Tokmia checkpoint in the West Bank. Temer is securing the straps around his goods. A combination of flour, sugar and salt, each packet carefully stacked. As he readies his truck full of aid bound for Gaza, there's a deeper fear. It's the first time he's making the journey since he says he was attacked by right-wing Israeli settlers about a month ago. The video, taken by another driver, shows the group sabotaging his truck, tossing bags of flour onto the road.
وبلشوا يكبوا البضاعة ويهجموا إذا بقرب على السيارة يجي يضربوني وطبشوني ما خلوش ولا يجي إذا بتحكي حرف معاهم بضربوك عنف يعني بخلوش إشي عمقتل جايين كان بحقد لما يهجموا على السيارات الحقد بعينيهم مبين.
How did it make you feel when all of that aid that was meant to go into Gaza was destroyed?
شو كنت خايف أنا شوي بقول كل شوي بدهم يقتلوني إنه معلم يقول لي اطلع نقلة بالليل بطلت أطلع ولا بقدرش أنا أطلع في مستوطنين على الشارع.
The IDF told ABC News they condemn attacks on truck drivers. Before aid actually reaches Gaza, it changes hands many times over. Temer and the other Palestinian drivers line up their vehicles at the last juncture in the West Bank before they shift their goods onto Israeli trucks so they can be driven through Israel. The goal is for the trucks to end up at one of the 5 gate crossings that lead from Israel to Gaza. And even then, they're met with more protests. As Temer and the others wait to be given the okay to pass, tension between the right-wing settlers and Palestinians from the West Bank is brewing. 2 right-wing settlers are spotted through the gate. They're sending videos of themselves in real time to WhatsApp groups, beckoning others to come join them. It instantly puts these operators on edge.
A lot of commotion, a lot of frustration here as they're now saying that the trucks shouldn't leave.
Eventually, police come to defuse the settlers. Temer gets back into his vehicle and gets through the checkpoint, this time without incident. But about half an hour later, at another juncture, the right-wing crowds are determined to block the aid trucks.
What's your goal right now?
הם אנסו, האנשים שמקבלים את האוכל הזה אנסו ורצחו את הילדים שלנו ואנחנו לא צריכים לתת להם אוכל. הכסף הזה שלהם היום מממן את החמאס בעזה. $500 מיליארד הגיע לחמאס בעזה רק במשאיות. מי שיזרוק על אבנים?
There are a lot of innocent people that need that aid as well.
אין שם אנשים תמימים, אין שם בלתי מעורבים, אין. כל האנשים, סליחה, אין ילד אחד, או בן אדם מבוגר אחד שהתקשר למדינת ישראל, אמר להם, יש לי פה חטופה, בואו תצילו אותה. אחד, שהתקשר.
You're saying children in Gaza are not innocent?
לא, ממש לא. והילדים שלנו שחטפו, הם innocent.
There's a lot of hate. I guess that's why you've also got the other protests.
זה לא שנאה. אנחנו לא שונאים אותם. הם שונאים אותנו, זה בדיוק ההפך, אנחנו רוצים לחיות בשקט. אנחנו רוצים רק שקט, אנחנו לא תקפנו אותם כדי להיכנס ליישובים שלנו ולרצוח ולאנוס ולחתוך את הילדים שלנו, לחתוך אותם וצריך שנאה, אנחנו לא עשינו להם את זה.
The Israelis here believe that the aid isn't even going into the hands of Gazans but stolen by Hamas, something aid groups deny. The young settlers resolute, now sitting down on the road, but soon after they're met with pushback from Israeli peace activist Alan Lee Green, who wants the aid to get through.
כל משאית עברה בשבוע האחרון, כל משאית תמשיך לעבור. אתם תהיו כאן היום, כל משאית, ואתם יודעים מה? הפסדתם, אתם תמשיכו להפסיד.
Eventually, the police pluck the protesters up from the ground one by one. None of them are arrested.
What you have here is two Israels. The right-wing settlers here who are trying to block the aid, and on the right, the organisation standing together, which is trying to allow it to go through, and the police in the middle.
Well, I think they see our numbers, and it's obvious that even if they're like 10, we're much more, and we can kind of dismantle any kind of disturbance.
What's your mission here? Why are you doing this?
Because we've witnessed for so many weeks the escalating attacks on the aid trucks. We've seen right-wing groups attacking the trucks. They even set some trucks on fire to send two Palestinian drivers to the hospital. It is a fight over the soul of our own society.
Since the start of the war, the issue of aid has been deeply divisive and highly politicised. Aid groups say Israel could be doing far more to ensure a flow of desperately needed aid is reaching Gaza. UN agencies sounding the alarm over high levels of starvation, especially in the northern part of the Strip. But Israel insists enough aid is being authorised for delivery, and that aid groups are the ones creating logistical challenges resulting in a bottleneck.
I've been working in Palestine for 5 years. And I've gone through 3 wars in Gaza and constant problems, situations in the West Bank. And I learned that everything is politicized in this place. I'm pretty much convinced, actually, that there is an intent to set us up for failing.
Andrea De Domenico heads the UN humanitarian office OCHA. He's just returned from 3 weeks in southern Gaza to help coordinate aid delivery and says the distribution journeys are dangerous and complex.
Tell me about the complications that you get from the Israeli side when you're trying to coordinate getting a truck in.
Israeli count trucks that have been literally dumped at the border. In reality, that's the beginning of the journey of assistance, because from there on starts the most complicated piece of the journey, which is picking up that material and bring it to the people that need it.
And now the UN World Food Programme announcing it's pausing distribution of aid from a US-built pier off Gaza out of safety concerns. It's the latest setback for the $300 million pier, which had only just returned to operation after it was broken by rough seas. But aid groups say that land routes are most efficient for aid delivery. And while the settler disruptions may not have a major impact on stopping the aid from getting to Gaza, peace activists like Alan Lee patrol the area to make sure the aid faces one less hurdle in its journey to Gaza's starving people.
Does it sometimes feel like you're screaming into a void?
In the first weeks and months of the war, because we felt very isolated and very alone and attacked from every direction, but more and more forces are joining us in the call for a ceasefire, in the call for humanizing all the people that live here, people that have been killed in Gaza are not bringing us more safety, and seeing people starving in Gaza is just something that will create more violence that not only Palestinians will pay the price of, but also Israelis will be hurt of. I mean, we are bound to somehow live on this land together.
Just so much suffering. Our thanks to Britt Clennett for that.